Come on in, everyone. Come on in because we are here for the Ultimatum, season 1 of South Africa. And we are here for the reunion, y'all. The reunion. Well, we got our answer. Or I should say I got my answer. Who's the daddy? Who's the daddy? As Jerry Springer would say, you are the father. You are the father. So it looks like all of you were right. Most people who said that, I don't want to mess up this man's name, Kateko. You know, I'm going to just call him for this review. I'm going to call his name Kay. Kay is the father of Kanye's baby. And although Kanye didn't want to have a baby out of wedlock, as she says, without being married, looks like she's here and it looks like she's okay with it. So, hey, she happy. I guess it's all okay. But we're going to talk about them a little bit later on. But I was surprised when everybody came out. I almost didn't recognize everybody. I guess everybody got their vacation braids out. I guess when they originally came on the show, everybody got vacation braids put in because they was leaving home. You know how us black women do, we be getting our vacation braids. Well, the vacation braids were out, so I really didn't even recognize everyone. I guess it was a vacation. They was on trial marriages, and it was like a free hall pass. So, yes, I guess it was a vacation with their vacation braids. And as we know, Nola had some vacation ding-a-ling because it wasn't staying at home at all. He had some vacation ding-a-ling. I didn't even recognize Atabi coming out with her pink hair. I just didn't recognize it. I don't know if I'm a fan of it, to be honest with you. I kind of like the braids better, but hey, I'm not here to judge their fashion. I'm really not, because I'm not a fashion person myself. So I really don't even know what's in and what's not in. All I know, pink hair could be the new thing in South Africa. But like I said, vacation braids are out and they're all back in one place. And according to Tabi and Genesis, they together, but they not engaged no more. Not really. Because really what needs to happen is they need to pay this lobola. Did I pronounce it right this time? My South Africans, lobola. They have to pay that, and the family got to set the price. And the price ain't been set yet. I hope that family ain't asking too much for Tabi. I hope they ain't asking too much. Don't tell me that the families in South Africa get in the way of people getting married because their price is too high. Good Lord. Sound like American rituals. But they said they need to fix those broken pieces that were broken. So she wasn't even wearing the ring. Not only are they not engaged, the ring is back. What happened to the letter? He had the letter and everything. Was the letter rescinded? I don't know. But the first people I want to get to is, just like my thumbnail says, is this whole thing with Lebo, Nola, and Ruth. Ruth rocked Nola's world. Let me just say it out loud. Ruth rocked Nola's world, and he is forever changed. Truth be told, I'm going to stick to what I said before. I don't know where they live in South Africa. South Africa is a whole country, y'all. It's pretty big, right? I mean, I haven't been around all South Africa. When I did visit, I kind of just went to Johannesburg, Soweto. We went to Cape Town. Then we did like a safari in Kruger National Forest for a while. Like I said, I was only there for like maybe almost like close to 2 weeks. So those are the only 4 places I went. But I do remember that when we flew from Johannesburg to Cape Town, the flight, if I remember, was got to be at least about 4.5 hours, 4 to 4.5 hours, which tells me that I don't know where these people live in South Africa, but that's almost like living in LA, but you dating somebody in, what's 4.5 hours? Atlanta, maybe, because Miami takes us 5 hours to get there. So maybe Atlanta. That's pretty far away. So, you know, unlike the Ultimatum in the US, the people are all from the same city. So if you really wanted to swap partners, if you really wanted to get with that other person, it's actually more feasible because you're kind of nearby. But with these couples, I don't even know how feasible it is for them to switch partners, because even Ruth is saying she's in a long distance relationship again. So it might be hard to find a partner in your own little city or town in South Africa. I don't know. I don't know what the dating scene is out there. Y'all, what is the dating scene in South Africa? Is everybody in a long distance relationship? Is that what it takes to be together? Because it's hard to find a person. I have no idea. But in any event, I still want to say Ruth rocked Nola's world. And for a minute, when Ruth first came out, I thought she was pregnant, y'all. I'm not going to lie. The way she was walking with her belly out and her back forward, I was like, and then I was looking, she looked like she had a little bit of a belly, a bump. But then it was covered by the dress. I don't know. At first I was like, is Ruth pregnant? And then I was like, who is the daddy? Is the daddy Isaac? Is the daddy Nola? I was confused, y'all. I'm not going to lie. But in the end, Ruth says she got a new man. She's happy. She's moved on. But when they moved to Nola and said, hey, Nola, how you doing? And then they revealed that Nola and Lebo got back together. What a disappointment. El Ramey, you called it. El Ramey, you called it. You said it from the beginning that she probably going to get back with them. And now, based on that, El Ramey and everybody else, I want to know is, do we even believe Lebo now? Do we believe her? Because to me, it almost felt like an act. So you've been with this man, because remember, this reunion has been taped a year after the show ended. So you mean for this entire year, almost a year as the host to say, you were with Nola? Like Nola said, I done turned down jobs. I've been doing all this stuff. I've been trying to keep my ding-a-ling at home like I wasn't doing before. And you mean all this time you were with him, Lebo? And all this time you were having conversations with Isaac that Nola didn't know about? Now, am I a fan of Nola's? No, I'm not. But I'm looking at Lebo and I'm thinking to myself, what are you doing, Lebo? First of all, I was wondering why she got back with him. Okay. Knowing that, as Ruth said, not once, not twice, but thrice. I'm going to start speaking like that. Not once, but twice, but thrice. You know, here in the U.S., we go 3 times. But I'm going to go thrice because I don't know. I just like it now. I just like it, so I think I'm going to just pick it up. But anyway, after you've known that man slept with her not once, not twice, but thrice, and to be honest with you, it was more than thrice. It really was more than thrice because we saw plenty more times than thrice. But I think Ruth was trying to be kind. But even after all that vacation ding-a-ling that Nola had, Lebo took him back. But then what she did was she took him back. But then behind his back, she's over here having conversations with Isaac, which I guess they don't live in the same town either, because otherwise, why don't y'all just get together then? If y'all like each other so much, why don't you get together? So now I'm wondering, now that, you know, Nola shows up here, Lebo shows up here, and Lebo then says, you know what, I'm not in love with you anymore. I don't want you. This is the end of our relationship. And even Isaac was sitting there trying to Lebo, go, say it. He was waiting for her to finally break up with him because probably this entire year, Isaac, as he said, has been trying to tell her to break up with him. So the fact that Lebo did it on this reunion at this time, there's only got to be 2 things. One is she was saving it for this moment, which means it's kind of like, I don't know. I don't really want to call it malicious because who cares about Nola's feelings anyway? But the fact that, did you save this breakup for this moment, Lebo? Did you save it? Or is this just an act so you don't look silly in front of everybody? Because Lebo started to realize how silly she was looking to have taken him back. Everybody was looking at her sideways like, for real, girl? For real, for real? So what does Lebo do in this moment? Does she come up with the idea on the spot that, hey, in order for me not to look silly, to look weak, to look, you know, whatever else, I'm going to break up with him now. And I'm going to tell him this on stage right now because Nola didn't see it coming, y'all. He didn't see it. In fact, Nola was saying things are great, which means all this time, although Lebo might have been complaining to Isaac, she wasn't complaining to Nola. She wasn't complaining to Nola. And then she broke up with him now. So my question then is, does Lebo, is she going to stay broken up with him? I can see her not, y'all. I can see, just like El Ramey called it in the beginning, that she wasn't. I can see right now that this was all just for the cameras. But even when Lebo sat there and they asked him, did you love Ruth? And he couldn't come out and say emphatically no, tells me he did love Ruth. And what Lebo said was in his moment of truth, you know, what he said was he realized with Ruth, there were things that he wanted in his relationship with Lebo that he was not getting. And what he was getting in the relationship with Ruth is what we know it all was. It was the excitement. It was the all of that. He doesn't get it from Lebo. Even when we see Lebo sitting there, Lebo's sort of boring, y'all. She seems sweet and kind. Although I don't know if Lebo is sweet and kind anymore, because what she pulled on this little episode, I don't know. Was she holding that breakup for this moment so she can have her get back moment, the revenge moment? I don't know. Who is Lebo? I'm really wondering right now, who is Lebo? But anyway, but Nola, he sat there, couldn't even say he didn't love Ruth. I think he loved Ruth. I think in that short period of time, he fell in love with Ruth. I said it in my last episode. I still believe it. And I think what he admitted to was that he really only writes Lebo for the fact that she sits there and puts up with his BS. And Lebo seems like the dutiful wife, right? She's going to do all the customary things that maybe a South African wife should do. She's gonna check off all the boxes, but is there gonna be this excitement? You ever heard about being with the woman you want versus being with the woman you need? Even for women, being with the man you want versus being with the man you need. I think Lebo is the woman that Nola needs, because there aren't many women who would put up with what he's doing. So she definitely is the woman he needs, but she's not the woman that he wants. So even in their getting back together, there still was no talk about marriage. And maybe that's why Lebo was unhappy. Lebo says he's not changed. He's still doing the same thing. So then why are you still there? Is it because you don't have a better offer, Lebo? Are you kind of just using Nola too? Are you just using him because you don't have a better offer, and maybe you like to be in a relationship, and until you get a new offer, you're just going to stick with Nola? Maybe Lebo does want to be with Isaac. Will Isaac make a move now that Lebo has completely broken up with Nola? I don't know. Or is Isaac just the other person who likes to be in these sort of weird relationships with women but never really make a commitment either? It's kind of a weird little triangle between these three people. Because Ruth has removed herself from the triangle. She's like, I ain't in it. I got me a new man, and we are just fine. I'm happy. And she had her vacation braids out too. Lebo sat over there and apologized to Aiden about the fact that because she was so concentrated on Nola, she really didn't give Aiden a chance. Girl, Aiden didn't even want a chance anyway. That was kind of like, what you talking about, Lebo? What you talking about, Willis? What are you talking about, Lebo? Aiden didn't want no chance with you. So although you're right, you did say fixated on Nola, I don't think that the outcome with Aiden would have been any different. So I don't know what she was talking about with that. Siza still is my favorite. Of all the ladies, I want to say that Siza is my favorite. I like the boldness of Ruth. I do. I like the fact that Ruth spoke her truth. I really like that about her. But I want to just say overall, I like Siza because Siza isn't afraid to also say her truth in another kind of way. And I think she stands up for who she is. She doesn't apologize for the fact that she may be a little bit more mushy. And I liked when she said that it's hard to see how another man help your man become the person that he is. But I want to thank you, Taby. I was like, listen to you, Siza. What a grown-up thing to say. Because you know what? Honestly, that is what happens sometimes. Sometimes our mates are taught lessons by other people, past relationships, and sometimes it might be somebody there in their current life. And for her to acknowledge that this process did something for Lindlay that she wasn't able to do, but yet she's benefiting from it, I think was a really kind of mature way to do it. I know other people might see it in a different kind of way, but I liked it. And now they're in this sort of beautiful relationship. But it was kind of disappointing. Well, at first it was disappointing that they weren't married or they didn't have a date. But then I like that Lindlay actually cleaned it up and said, well, there will be a marriage before the end of the year, that their families have already started talking. He's getting the money together, and that he is going to have a plan. And Siza said he has to get the plan together, and that they've sent the letter and the families are talking. He's getting his Lobola money together. And he said, but we still need to work on a few things. I hope he wasn't just BSing us. I hope it's for real. And he said she will become I forget whatever his last name was. And it's interesting the language he used. It's so different from America. The language he said is, I am taking her, right? It was like, I let the family know I am taking her. I know a lot of people in the U.S. have problems with these sort of phrases like giving away of the bride, the father giving away the bride to the husband. People even have problems with fathers walking their daughters down the aisle and who gives this bride away. So to hear some of these customs still rooted in the African traditions, I don't know, I liked it. I actually enjoyed it, to be honest with you. I know a lot of more progressive women were going to have a problem with that language he used about I am taking her. And also the fact that, honestly, the men control the marriage road. I know a lot of women here in the U.S. don't believe it. But the truth of the matter is men do control the road to marriage. Yes, the woman has to say yes. But in the end, a lot of the things that have to be done to get to marriage are on the man. And so I think that it highlights the need when women think about what they want to get married here in the U.S. Don't underestimate the power of a man in a marriage, and that you do have to learn to work with a man, because in the end, it is he who has to decide to give you his last name or to marry you. Yes, you can say yes or no, but you only can say yes or no if you get an offer. So in a lot of ways, the man controls the offer. I know people don't want to hear that, but the man controls the offer. Now, with these traditional African traditions, the family can say no. The family can say no. The family can reject the offer. And that's the same thing that the woman can do. The woman can reject the offer from the man, and so can the woman's family reject the offer from the man. So in that respect, it's not as if a woman doesn't have a say so. This isn't forced marriage. So it's interesting, but I think sometimes what happens is each party doesn't realize the other person's role in a marriage, that it is an agreement and not one person controls the role. But I think oftentimes we don't realize that in order for the ball to get rolling, and as what's going on here with Siza and Lindlay, in order for the ball to get rolling, the man has to do a lot of the things to get the ball rolling. He has to write the letter. He has to talk to the family. He has to be prepared to pay a lobola. And then I would suspect he has to also be prepared to support the wife in some sort of financial way. So very interesting. I really enjoyed this ultimatum because it also got us to see a lot of things culturally that's different between America and, I would say, South Africa, because, I don't know, traditions are probably different in different parts of Africa. And I guess the one good thing that Kanye did was apologize to Siza about body shaming her. That was probably the only thing that she did. But was it sincere? It was sincere enough that she knew it made her look poorly. And I think she came with the apology. So could it have been done differently with a little bit more, remorse on her face? Yeah. But that's probably the best we're going to get from Kanye, is the fact that she actually said it. Between her and Kay, like I said, I'm not going to say his name, Kateko. I'm not going to mess up his name. Kay, like I just messed it up. They have zero physical chemistry. When they were sitting on the couch, they didn't even touch each other. They barely looked at each other. The only time that Kanye even looked at him was when she was correcting him. They may have had this baby together, but let me tell you, I don't really even know what that relationship is based off of. It's based off of some weird thing that they're calling love and respect. It's really, really, really weird to watch. Really weird to watch. At this point in time, their relationship is almost starting to feel like a forced relationship. When you see them together, you're like, do y'all even want to be here? Do you really want to be together? I know they're overjoyed and happy about this baby that they created together. But besides that, I'm almost like, is this a forced marriage? Is this a forced relationship? Because neither one of them really look happy. And I really don't care about all that flowery stuff that Kay said about Kanye. Now I know when Kanye was calling him fake, she was dead on. Kay is fake. He is so fake. Even the flowery stuff he was saying about her was fake. And what Kanye knows about him is the stuff he says on camera in front of people. It is not the same things he says to her behind closed doors. Because when he was saying those things on camera, Kanye looked at him like, I ain't never heard these words before. She looked at him and said, I've never heard these words before. So the fact that you're saying them now in front of this camera is you fake and you trying to pretend like you're this good guy and you're not this good guy. And when they asked him, would you do it all over again with the promise ring? He said, yes, I would do the same thing over again, because unlike you other people who didn't realize it wasn't ready, I knew from the beginning we weren't ready. So yes, I still would not propose to her. And here we are a year later with a baby and everything. And she don't even have a promise ring, no kind of ring, nothing. Ain't nothing going on. Even when he was explaining about how things went down, he was like, well, Kanye was really angry with me. And she looked over at him and said, I wasn't the only one angry. You was angry too. Don't try to pretend like it was just me. She be checking him and clocking him at every turn. He's like, yeah, but let me finish. She's like, no, what do you want me to do? Let you keep lying? Let you keep representing the truth of what really is? You know what? A viewer dropped down in my comments this week and gave, all of you guys always write such good things. And that's why I love reading the comments. But she wrote something down, he or she wrote something down about this couple that I thought was just so on point. And I actually want to read it to all of you. So let me put my glasses on so I can read it. But she wrote, he or she wrote, love your review. Everything you said about Kateko was what I had also concluded, but had not yet seen a review that articulated it so well. You clocked him so well. He is exactly like Kanye, but he just keeps it hidden. I don't even think he liked Siza. I think he just liked how she made him feel. And he also is probably very aware of his public image. And so he ensured that he pretends to be such a good guy in how he treats Siza, so that as viewers, we will compare him to Kanye and then conclude that he deserves better than Kanye. In that way, he gets an ego boost while simultaneously having an upper hand vis-a-vis vice versa Kanye by being able to say, see, everybody agrees with me that you're a horrible person and I deserve better. That's what I think about Kanye. I think Kanye, I'm telling you, I think Kay is the mirror of Kanye, but in a different way. So I too believe Kanye when she said he is fake. Kay also wanted Kourtney just because she is white. Remember, I brought that up. Because the thing is, colorist men actually ultimately want a white woman, regardless of whether she is attractive or not, because the root of these men's issue is internalized anti-blackness and low self-esteem. So they want a white woman for validation of status, but most black men don't get white women, especially in South Africa. So the next best thing is a light-skinned black woman. But given a chance to be with a white woman, they will leave the light-skinned black woman so fast. It actually happened to a friend of mine. She's a pretty light-skinned woman who didn't realize that colorist black men who ended up with light-skinned black women see such women as their booby prize. The real prize for such men is the white woman, regardless of how she looks, so long as she is white. And after all these years she had invested in her relationship, my friend was left for the most basic white woman. That's what I think. If Kourtney had given Kay a chance, and had she fallen for him, Kay would have left Kanye so quickly her head would have spun. That's why any lady should be aware of colorist men. There are no prizes. They have internalized anti-blackness, and whichever woman they end up choosing, they are using the women for a self-esteem boost, not because they genuinely like them. Love review, and I'm looking forward to listening to your take on the reunion. Now, I don't normally get in the whole colorist thing, but I am going to talk about it when it comes to Kateko, because I do believe it has played a big role with what he's doing with Kanye. I don't see all that stuff Kanye was talking about, all that stuff Kateko was talking about Kanye. I mean, a blind man could see that he was making that stuff up, because I don't even think he believed it. I don't think he believed it. I think he was just saying it to justify why he's with her, right? Because you can't say, oh, I hate her, she's mean, she's this, but I'm still with her. He had to come up with a reason why he's still with her. And of course, that would have to do with praising her. But like she said, I never heard none of this stuff before. And she teared up because she was hungry for it. She was hungry for hearing the words that he said. He went so far as to take responsibility for what Kanye did, which I thought was going way too far. You ever get a liar and first you're believing the liar, but then their lie gets too unbelievable. That's when you finally start thinking, wait a minute, this story is getting crazy. This might be a lie. See, that's the difference between a good liar and a bad liar. A good liar knows how to craft the lie and not make the lie seem so absurd that people could believe the lie. But a bad liar, what tends to happen is they actually go too far. They started adding things to the story, and then all of a sudden, your own common sense starts clicking in and going, wait a minute. This can't be true. This is a lie. And that's what happened with Kay. On this reunion, what really made me realize he's a liar is he took his lie too far. When he started taking responsibility for Kanye, when he started saying, oh, I have to apologize for her for crossing her boundaries. I got to apologize for everything I did. How wonderful, how beautiful she is. I understand and wanting to give her some praise because now she's just not this woman in your life. She's actually the mother of your children. I get that part, but he took the lie too far. He really just started making up stuff, which brings me back to what this viewer wrote. Then you say, well, if it's a lie, why is he with her? And what's what I'm saying, that I believe he's with her for a lot of the reasons this viewer wrote. I do believe that part of the reason why Kay is with Kanye is because of colorism issues. Because I remember when he was choosing a partner, he really wanted Courtney. In fact, he told the camera, I got this in the bag. He was so sure that he was going to get her, maybe because he might have dated white women in the past. And he was so sure that Courtney was the type of woman that would want him. But that might also be a reason why Courtney didn't choose him. Courtney also might have known that, hey, if I do a trial marriage with Kay, this could turn left. I could put myself in danger. I could be a little too tempted. In a lot of ways, I think Courtney chose Genesis because Genesis was even safe for her. I even think Courtney saw that she could become susceptible to Kay in a lot of ways. And what she did know is I ain't going down those lines. I'm not going to be over here with no black man getting tempted and then having other issues. She knew that she would have a real problem on her hand if she did that. That's almost like forbidden fruit in South Africa. It's forbidden almost. It's not always said, but it's one of those unsaid types of things. I think Courtney chose Genesis because it was safe, and she didn't want to get any problem with Kateko because I think she also knew who Kateko was, and so did Kanye. She knew who she was. In fact, I think Kanye would have been more afraid of Kay being with Courtney than she was with Siza. I think she would have been more threatened because I think Kanye knows her man. I think she knows her man. And that's what I'm saying. Even though there can be women who say vicious things, sometimes you got to believe the woman because she knows her man. That's why I always tell people, hey, if you get a chance to talk to the ex-girlfriend, a lot of people say, why would I want to talk to an ex? We always watch these shows on Radio Love where the exes come and people say, well, this wouldn't even happen in the real world. Well, it needs to happen. It needs to happen because let me tell you, even if there is a bitter ex, in that bitterness, in those things they might say, in their rant, in their anger, they also can be telling some truth. And why would you want to cut yourself off from the truth? Sure, you want to be able to parse the truth from the lies, but why do you want to cut you off from anything from the truth? And I believe that what Kanye has said about Kateko is the truth. And that's why I also think she doesn't respect him. Because what she knows is she knows why Kanye is there. She knows in a lot of ways Kanye is using her for clout, status in South Africa, right? Because if you have light skin in South Africa, more than likely you are deemed higher than a darker skinned woman. And what Kanye knows is that's valuable. That's worth something. You got to pay to be a woman like me because in this society, I'm ranked higher than other women. So therefore, you don't just need to pay for me with your money. You need to pay by putting up with things in my mouth because the status you get from being with me. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. So in that respect, as much as I don't like Kanye, as much as I don't like her, I think she's mean and she's rude and she's nasty. Kanye, give him hell. Give Kay hell because he is using you just as much as you're using him. She's using him. He's using her. He's using her for clout and for status. And so I believe that Kanye, like Kanye said, he is faker than a $3 bill. I don't know what it's called. Isn't it called a rand in South Africa? Isn't it called a South African rand? That's what I believe the money's called. But here in America, it's called a $3 bill, and K is faker than a $3 bill. But that's it, y'all. That's all I got about this reunion. I hope South Africa gets another season. I really do. But I hope if they come back for the ultimatum for South Africa, that maybe they do it in just like Johannesburg or someplace where there's a large concentration of people. Then that way, people like Nola and Ruth, if they want to get together afterwards, they can get together. But anyway, that's it, y'all. I will talk to you later. Bye.